A Roth IRA and a brokerage account can hold the exact same investments and still leave you with completely different amounts of money. Same fund, same deposit, same 30 years. One of them hands the government a slice at every step. The other one, if you follow the rules, hands you the whole thing. So here is the direct answer, right up front. A brokerage account is a regular taxable investment account. You fund it with money you have already paid tax on, and then you keep paying tax as you go, on dividends, on interest, and on your gains when you sell. A Roth IRA is a retirement wrapper around those same investments. You also fund it with money you have already been taxed on, but after that, the growth and the qualified withdrawals come out completely tax-free. That is the whole difference in one line. The investments can be identical. The tax treatment is not. That is enough to pass a quiz. It is not enough to actually choose between them, because the Roth IRA comes with a fence around it. There is a cap on how much you can put in each year, an income level where you get shut out entirely, and a set of rules about when you are allowed to touch the money. The brokerage account has no fence at all. Stay with me and you will know which account each dollar belongs in, what the 2026 limits actually are, the one rule that lets you pull money out of a Roth early with no penalty, and the single tax break a brokerage account has that a Roth can never match. Let us start with the part almost everybody gets wrong. Here is the mistake I hear constantly. People talk about a Roth IRA as if it were an investment. It is not. A Roth IRA is a container. So is a brokerage account. What goes inside is up to you. And it can be word for word identical in both. Picture two shopping bags. You put the same index fund in each one. The bags do not change what is inside them. They change who is allowed to reach in and how much tax gets skimmed off on the way out. That is the entire concept. This matters because it kills a question people ask all the time. Should I invest in a Roth IRA or should I invest in stocks? That is like asking whether to keep your milk in the fridge or in a carton. The account is the wrapper, the fund is the thing. So let us open the brokerage account first, because it is the simpler machine. You send money in, you buy what you want. No limit on the amount, no income cutoff, no age requirement, and you do not even need a job to fund one. The price for all that freedom is that the tax bill never stops. Every dividend your funds pay you is taxable in the year you receive it, whether you spend it or reinvest it. Interest works the same way. And when you sell something for more than you paid, you owe capital gains tax on the profit. How much depends entirely on how long you held it. Sell within a year and the gain is short-term, taxed as ordinary income at your normal rate. Hold longer than a year and you drop into the long-term rates, which for 2026 are 0, 15 or 20%. That 15% tier starts at about $49,000 of taxable income for a single filer and about $99,000 for a married couple filing jointly. That gap between short and long is the trade. Now the Roth IRA, you fund it with money you have already paid income tax on, exactly like the brokerage account. Then the machine changes. Inside a Roth, nothing is a taxable event. Dividends are not taxed. Interest is not taxed. If you sell one fund and buy a different one, there is no capital gains bill and nothing to report on your return. You could rearrange the whole account every month and the tax code would not notice. And at the end, if the withdrawal is qualified, you take the money out and owe nothing. Not on your contributions and not on decades of growth. Zero. Put that on a timeline and it gets loud. Someone contributing $7,500 a year for 30 years has put in $225,000 of their own money. Whatever that grew into on top is never taxed at all inside a Roth. In a brokerage account, that same growth is a tax bill sitting there, waiting for the day you sell. So why does everybody not simply do that? Because of the fence, and the fence has 3 rails. The first rail is the contribution cap. For 2026, you can put in $7,500 total across all of your IRAs for the year. If you are 50 or older, there is a catch-up of $1,100 more, which takes you to $8,600. The second rail is an income test. For 2026, Roth contributions phase out between $153,000 and $168,000 of modified adjusted gross income for a single filer. For a married couple filing jointly, it runs from $242,000 to $252,000. Above the top of your range, you cannot contribute directly at all. The third rail is earned income. You need compensation from a job or from self-employment. Investment income alone will not fund a Roth, although a working spouse is allowed to fund one for a spouse who is not working. A brokerage account has none of those three rails. No cap, no income test, no job required. That is exactly why it is in this conversation. Which brings up the question people actually worry about. What happens if I need the money before I am old? This is where the Roth is far friendlier than its reputation. Your contributions, the money you personally put in, can come back out at any time, at any age, with no tax and no penalty. The tax code treats withdrawals as contributions first. So if you have put in $20,000 over the years and the account is now worth $30,000, that first $20,000 is yours whenever you want it. The growth is the part that is locked. To take earnings out clean, you generally need two things at the same time. You have to be 59 and a half, and the account has to have been open 5 years. That 5-year clock starts on January 1st of the tax year of your first Roth contribution. Miss either condition and the earnings get taxed, plus a 10% penalty, unless you fit one of a few narrow exceptions. A brokerage account has no locks at all. Sell today, the cash reaches your bank in a couple of days, and the only cost is tax on the gain. Now it gets interesting, because the brokerage account has genuine advantages that almost nobody mentions. Start with losses. If an investment drops and you sell it in a taxable account, that loss is worth real money. It cancels out gains elsewhere, and up to $3,000 a year of leftover loss comes off your ordinary income. Anything past that carries forward into future years. Take that same loss inside a Roth and it is simply gone. There is nothing to deduct because there was nothing to tax. Then there is the 0% bracket. Long-term gains are taxed at zero, below roughly $49,000 of taxable income for a single filer or $99,000 for a couple. Someone in that range can sell appreciated shares and legitimately owe nothing on the gain. And when a taxable account passes to heirs, the cost basis generally resets to the value on the date of death. Decades of gains can disappear for tax purposes. A Roth has no equivalent to that. One more difference shows up later in life. A Roth IRA has no required minimum distributions for the original owner. Traditional retirement accounts start forcing money out at 73, whether you want it or not. A Roth just sits there and keeps compounding. A brokerage account has no forced withdrawals either, so on that one they tie. Here is what all of it means in practice. The Roth is the better wrapper. The brokerage account is the more flexible one. Those two sentences drive every decision that follows. So where does the money actually go? The order most financial planners describe looks like this. Cash you might need in the next couple of years does not belong in either account. That is a savings account, because a market drop on a short timeline is a genuine risk. After that, if your employer matches contributions to a workplace plan, that match is usually taken first, because it is free money. Then the Roth IRA, up to the annual cap. Tax-free growth over decades is the strongest thing on this list, and the cap is use it or lose it, so a year you skip can never be filled in later. Once the Roth is full for the year, everything else lands in the brokerage account. It has no ceiling. That is the entire point of it. It is the overflow tank, and it is also where money for a goal 8 years out belongs, because the Roth rules make it a poor fit for anything before retirement age. Most people doing this well end up with both accounts, not one or the other. So, one line to take away. A brokerage account is taxed as you go and free of every restriction. A Roth IRA is restricted going in and untaxed coming out. Same investments, opposite trade-offs. And if you remember one practical thing, make it this. Your Roth contributions can come back out at any time, tax-free and penalty-free. That single rule is why a Roth is far less of a trap than most people think it is. Now, I am curious about you. Are you funding a Roth, a brokerage account, or both right now, and what made you land there? Tell me in the comments.